I chose the AIFS program in Stellenbosch, South Africa because of the service learning course. As an education major, I wanted to learn about the education system in South Africa and the impact of apartheid in present society. This course gave me a lot of perspective on Ikaya Primary, townships in South Africa, South African society, and development projects throughout the world. Each week began with a 6-hour lecture on Monday. It sounds like a lot, but it is a 9 US credit course. We covered topics including globalization, decolonization of education, sustainable development, intercultural communication, and poverty and inequality. This course is open to all international students and all majors, so it was interesting to hear from different perspectives. We also took time to reflect upon our engagement with the students at Ikaya Primary, which helped me better understand the importance of sustainable education and how to achieve it. We were assigned teaching groups of 3 or 4, and were responsible for creating a lesson plan for each week, preparing materials, and executing the lesson on Friday. Everyone was placed in a grade R class, which is kind of like our kindergarten. I was in a group with another student from the US, someone from the Netherlands, and someone from Germany. We met at the cutest cafe, called the Blue Crane and the Butterfly, every Tuesday to lesson plan and hang out a little. We'd collaborate using a fair amount of Pinterest on the free Wi-Fi, and some of our own past experiences, while we ate some delicious breakfast. Early on Friday mornings, we'd meet the bus and take the 10-minute drive into Kayamandi. While Stellenbosch is a built-up modern town, Kayamandi Township is mostly huddled shacks. Though apartheid has ended, the oppressive laws continue to have a trickle-down effect, leaving many blacks in poverty. At first, I was concerned about how we would be received. Did the residents want us there? Did they know what we were doing? And when there was a mix-up with transportation, we ended up arriving in a big tour bus that first day, which didn't ease my discomfort. But we disembarked to a crowd of excited kids, waving and smiling. We always arrived at the school as the last kids were filing in, and we received such a warm welcome from the parents and students. There was no better feeling than getting off the bus and having one of my students yelling, "Teacher, teacher," and running over to grab my hand and escort me proudly into their school. Each week, we planned a lesson around the topic for the grade R curriculum given to us by the school. By doing this, we were able to teach the same content they had been learning throughout the week, building upon what they already knew. At first, I found it difficult to connect with our students who only spoke Xhosa, but I found music to be a universal language. They even knew some of the camp songs I'd learned as a counselor over the summer. After they did their morning prayer and weather chart with their teacher, we'd always begin with a good morning song. Then we would review the vocabulary from previous weeks, and I was continually impressed by their retention. We printed out the vocabulary with pictures on sheets of paper, and our teacher dedicated a wall in the classroom for us to hang them up. After presenting the words, we always had an activity or game to engage with them further. We sang a lot of songs in English and then in Xhosa, with the help of our teacher, of course. They especially liked head, shoulders, knees, and toes, which worked perfectly for the week on the body and quickly became a go-to in the following weeks. To increase the sustainability of our lessons, we also had our students complete a page each week, usually by drawing a picture related to the topic of the week with some vocabulary. We collected these pages throughout the semester and put them together into books to give our students at the end. We learned that many of them do not own any books, so giving them something they made with English words on it will hopefully encourage them to continue learning even though we have gone. After the lesson, we stayed for lunch and then an hour of playtime. It was a good opportunity to interact with our students simply as kids. They actively engaged us in their playground games and were always eager to get piggyback rides. Each week, as we taught our students English, they taught us Xhosa and imparted some of their culture, building their confidence as competent and valuable sources of knowledge. While the students were always excited to see us, and I knew I was getting something out of the experience, I often wondered whether I was actually making a difference. Because, after all, the course was focused on sustainability, so I had to consider the needs of my students. While I cannot guarantee that our students' lives are better because of this program, I did see some positive outcomes during my time there. On the first day, our teachers started hanging up the vocabulary words we covered so the students could practice English every day of the week on their own. One day, some students were finished the activity early and were sitting by the wall. Usually, they'd sing songs or play games amongst themselves, but this time, one of them stood up, went to the front, and began to quiz his friends on the vocabulary from that day. In all of our talk about sustainable development, this image replays in my mind. It gave me hope that even after we'd left, our students would continue to educate themselves. We cannot instantaneously change the fact that knowing English and Western culture increases opportunity in life, but we can attempt to bridge the gap and make those opportunities more accessible. This experience has inspired me to become a more informed global citizen and to practice sustainable education. Throughout my career, I hope to empower others through education and help bridge the socioeconomic gap.
Goodbye.